Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. A very big thank you to all the new Patreon members out there. As always, a great way to support the channel is by leaving a like, by leaving a comment, or by subscribing if you have not already done so. And also, watch out for the robots or whatever they are in the comment section who keep pretending to be me. They're barely even trying anymore, but they still have like the TMI logo. For whatever reason, they look a little janky now. I guess, months of wearing them down. Anyway, just watch out for them and just know that it's not me talking to you in the comment section like that. Let's jump right into it. At the moment, and I know I've said this the last 6, 7, 8 videos, the cryptocurrency market is acting incredibly weird. A couple of hours ago, 12, maybe somewhere around there, Bitcoin's price jumped to $49,000. There were an enormous amount of articles that started popping up talking about that Bitcoin's price was on the cusp of hitting 50,000. And then from 50,000, we would start to go to $65,000. But immediately after hitting 49,000, we slammed back down. And I mean, like, it was a perfectly executed slam as well. Once again, the whales or the rich, whatever, having as much fun as they possibly can, because we slammed down by roughly exactly $2,000 over the course of a couple of seconds. Bitcoin is currently up since then, but the optimism has not left the market, even though, prices are all in the red right now, but looking like they could potentially go up. It says, technical analysis, Ethereum bulls in control. Why Ether could rally above $3,500. This one says, Bitcoin price prediction. Bitcoin falters at 48,000 as bulls regroup for the next run to $52,000. This one says, Bitcoin turns green. Why Bitcoin could soon breach $50,000. And this one says, Bitcoin will hit $288,000. This was said by Plan B. I found no negative price articles. That is a first. It takes I am not sure what happened to the people who are writing these articles. There was not a hint of negative sentiment in the cryptocurrency space this morning. Every article was talking about this coin is going to do this, this coin is going there. But of course, the main focus is usually always on Bitcoin and on Ethereum and how high that they're going to go. And I was very, very shocked. Everyone is really part of this Q4 plan, that's quarter 4, where they believe, and the mindset kind of is, that October, November, and December will be some type of magical euphoric months, especially if we are continuing to mimic 2017 as we have done for the entirety of this year. Plan B is also, once again, heavily in the news, because his chart that shows where Bitcoin's prices were going to go months ago are actually going according to plan. And he said that even the dips that we had were also in his charts, and therefore the next step, I think right now, I believe, is 77,000. That's the number that I keep seeing thrown around. Then eventually we will hit 100,000. But the name of the game is, at some point, either during this year or this current cycle upwards, which is expected to plateau, don't know when, but everyone keeps saying either the end of this year or the very beginning of next year. And the number is $288,000 per Bitcoin. So a lot of optimism in the market. Even after the drop, no reason why we should be dropping except for whales trying to take profit just so they can buy some more later on. But that's all the price news. Kind of weird, right? Only optimistic. I was very, very shocked. I saw the prices were slightly in the red this morning, and I was expecting, the whole bubub. Nope. Everything was optimistic. And without further ado, let's move on. Also, really popular in the news, and I feel like we went over this months ago, but now it's just becoming, I don't know, maybe, I don't know. On Friday, the world's leading digital currency asset manager, Grayscale, announced that it updated its fund component weightings for Grayscale's digital large cap fund, under which smart contracts platforms Solana and UniSwap are on there as well. The company further disclosed that the decision to add these assets to the portfolio was in line with its quarterly reviews and construction criteria. They said, in accordance with the digital large cap funds construction criteria, Grayscale has adjusted the digital large cap funds portfolio by selling certain amounts of the existing fund components in proportion to their respective weightings and using the cash proceeds to purchase Solana and UniSwap. So basically they sold other stuff to buy other stuff. They have a 3.2% allocation for Solana. Bitcoin is 62%, Ethereum is 28%, UniSwap is 1%, Cardano is 5.1%, Litecoin is 0.77% of their portfolio. So Grayscale is I think the largest holder of Bitcoin that we know about in the world. They're constantly in the news. They're buying up as much cryptocurrency as possible. They are part of these other mega funds who are giving them billions of dollars to buy other cryptocurrencies. So Grayscale is a well-known household name in the cryptocurrency space. But the fact that they now have Solana and UniSwap has caused people to go completely insane, especially as Solana has been moving up, which also, just throwing this out there. Remember, Solana has been like really moving up the last 3 weeks. Doesn't it seem a little odd that for the last 3 weeks, it's been moving up so heavily and then Grayscale ends up adding it? It's almost as if someone behind the scenes knew that they would. This keeps happening over and over. No one really seems to care anymore. I keep mentioning things in the cryptocurrency space, but I think no one really cares. Everyone is just really focused on making money, and they don't really care what's happening behind the scenes. So anyway, Solana and UniSwap have been added to Grayscale's market cap fund, whatever you kind of want to call it. They keep adding new coins. Some of them are obviously more popular than others. We haven't had any major Grayscale buying up huge portions of Bitcoin news in a while. Not sure why. The last major Grayscale news that we had was that they would be unlocking tons of coins, and for some reason, people especially thought that they would be dumping billions of coins onto the market. And I said, why would they destroy their own money? And guess what? They didn't do it, because that's not what Grayscale is for. So anyway, that's the Grayscale news. And let's move on. Why not news. The state of Texas is reportedly aiming to become a world leader in blockchain technology in general, and crypto asset mining in particular, following the latest crackdown in China. According to a report by Forbes published on the 2nd of October, former U.S. Army Captain Lee Bratcher, who is the founder and president of the Texas Blockchain Council, is hosting on Friday, this upcoming Friday the 8th, the one-day Texas Blockchain Summit, where many crypto luminaries will be speaking. The Texas Blockchain Council is a nonprofit industry association made up of companies and individuals that work in a variety of industries that are connected to blockchain technology. It aims to make the state of Texas the jurisdiction of choice for blockchain innovation. The Forbes report went on to say that the Texas governor, Greg Abbott, has met with the Texas Blockchain Council on 2 separate occasions and has tweeted his support for digital assets. There's like 12 different tweets here. He said, "Count me in as a crypto law proposal supporter. Is increasingly being used for transactions and is beginning to go mainstream. Fidelity trying to get Bitcoin ETF." And then there's another tweet right here. Texas is becoming a mecca. And then there's another tweet right here. So he kind of just keeps tweeting about it. So I assume he's a crypto believer. For some reason, this was very popular news. It's not that it's not big news that Texas is trying to do this, but once again, correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like maybe I'm in a time where, I remember before months ago, I was like, oh gosh, I wish I had a time machine so that I could, go back to get the old prices. I don't know if I'm in one. I don't know if it's malfunctioning. I'm not really sure. But we keep getting news about stuff that we already had news about. And it keeps making headline news as if it's the first time that we're ever getting that news. So we knew before, for those of you who were unaware, that since, even before the entire thing was happening in China, and even during the time it was happening in China, about a good month or two ago, we had news that all these companies were leaving China, and they were going to Kyrgyzstan, they were going to Alaska, they were going to Iceland. We also got a huge portion of them who were talking about going to Florida and also to Texas. So I guess is the news that he's now openly throwing his support behind this, but I feel like he did this before, because I think I remember saying the name Greg Abbott. Is the news that there's a guy working on a motorcycle that's meant to be an ant? I'm not really sure. But yeah, so Texas is gonna keep Texasing. I don't. I'm not really surprised at this news because we already got it before. This was one of the all over the place news stories, which is actually kind of odd. But I guess this is an indication for those of you who also weren't here last week. We know that the US has no plans of banning Bitcoin because, you know, they would have done it already. That's how the US works. And I guess this is more of a solidification of the fact that they're not going to be banning Bitcoin because it's happening within their country. Anyway, that's the Texas blockchain mayor. Who's this guy? That guy likes Bitcoin, and Texas is going to become a mecca for Bitcoin miners. News. And without further ado, let's move on. Also, in popularly unpopular news, and if you got your hopes up, throw them to the ground. If any of you have hopes of anything of the SEC doing anything good, like throw it out of your head and just throw it to the ground, because I'm trying to save you a whole bunch of heartbreak. Exercising its statutory powers, the SEC has extended the time frame for revealing its decision on 4 Bitcoin ETF proposals. The extension will give the commission sufficient time to go over finer details of their applications amid mounting optimism. For those of you, and this is the 4th time I'm saying this video, who weren't here a couple of years ago, in 2017, this was the first time that we started getting wind of this process. The US SEC, and I'm pretty sure many other SECs out there, what they end up doing is they ask someone had to put forth a proposal for a Bitcoin ETF. They give it to the SEC and go, please, sir, can you please look at this and tell me if it can go through? The SEC takes it and allegedly, so we're told, reads it for about a good month or 2. I'm not sure of the exact time frame. It's a while. But for some reason, every single time, the SEC always extends it by another 45 days. They say that they do this based on the fact that they are able to do so, but they say we have to read just a little bit more, and they tend to usually ask for public opinion, which they also do not care about. Because in 2017, I had multiple videos where the SEC was asking the public for their opinion on allowing a Bitcoin ETF to go through. And hundreds of people went to the SEC's website and wrote them comments discussing, saying why they believe that a Bitcoin ETF should be released. And it's funny because you were able to see the other proposals for other things to the SEC that had public opinion on them, and they maybe had 1 comment, maybe 3. I think the most I ever saw was 3 on one of them. Tons and tons of other ones, but the Bitcoin ones had hundreds of them. And can you guess by the end of 2017 what the US SEC said for a Bitcoin ETF? A big fat NO. So this is also complete nonsense. Them having to extend it by 45 days is absolutely ridiculous. It's basically the exact same paperwork, slightly tweaked, that we've basically seen over the last 4 to 5 years that they're still going to say no to. This might have been the reason why Bitcoin slammed down so quickly. I'm not sure why people are so fixated on the idea of us having a Bitcoin ETF. And for some reason, if we don't have a Bitcoin ETF, that Bitcoin for some reason is going to suffer. It doesn't make any sense. If some country on the other side of the planet from where you live, wherever that might be, decides that they don't like apples, do the value of apples in your country simply start going down? Are they not any more delicious than they previously were before? Bitcoin is its own entity. Bitcoin doesn't need futures. It doesn't need ETNs, ETFs. It doesn't need anything else, derivatives tied to it. It's still going to be Bitcoin, and it's still going to be finite, regardless of what the CFTC or the SEC says about it, or what other products they decide to deliver on top of it. So yeah, they said in accordance with their power from a rule from 1934, this is what they have decided to do. So yeah, this was all over the place news. A lot of people were talking about it. Slightly shocked because a lot of people for some reason believed that this was going to be the time when they allowed a Bitcoin ETF to go through. These people have no intention on actually helping. I'm not sure if you realize that. I hope you get it more and more every single day, because we would not have had a situation against EOS, or the situation that we had against Ethereum a couple of years ago from the SEC, or all the discussions we've been having, or the case against Ripple, or the fact that multiple other countries have ETFs and the US still doesn't have one. should just give you a proper understanding of what's actually happening behind the scenes. Anyway, that's the SEC news. Can't say that I'm shocked. They've been doing the same things for 5 years. And without further ado, let's move on. Also, in sure, why not news, Ripple's development team is launching an engineering preview for a massive upgrade to the XRP ledger. The upgrade, first announced in June, will enable federated sidechains. Ripple said these sidechains could unleash decentralized finance and smart contracts across the broader XRP ecosystem without decreasing XRP's efficiency. The engineering previews let developers view and comment on the technology as well as experiment with it, according to an announcement from Ripple X, the company's investment and development arm. David Schwartz, Ripple's chief technology officer, told 281,000 people on Twitter that sidechains will expand the use of XRP's ledger. He said sidechains make it easy for developers to customize the chain for their use cases, such as private networks, securities trading, DeFi. Speaking on DeFi, bringing Ethereum smart contracts to the XRP ledger could lower the barriers to entry for developers to build powerful DeFi apps with cross-chain interoperability. And we're working on the Ethereum virtual machine side chain between Ethereum smart. So basically, it looks like so. Oh boy, this is another situation of please just do it and stop talking about it. I don't understand why every single blockchain, every single company has to have an announcement of an announcement of an announcement. We always get something, hey, we're looking into this. It sounds like it could be cool. And everyone goes, I can't wait. And then 3 months later, they go, hey, we're starting to begin to work on the thing that we told you about 3 months ago. And everyone's like, yeah, this is it. And then 3 months later, they go, hey, remember the thing that we were talking about doing the first time that we actually started doing it? Guess what? You can now preview what we're doing. And people go, oh, okay. And then they go, okay, we are working on the testnet for the thing that we originally spoke about, that told you about, that we were going to start to begin to do before. Here's a testnet. And everyone go, And then they go, hey, guess what? Countdown to 6 months. We're finally going to have the thing that we told you that and it keeps on going on and on and on. So this is an announcement of an announcement of an announcement that they're thinking of doing something that they're working on, basically to make XRP's ledger the same as every other blockchain. It comes down to the DeFi space. If you don't have DeFi, you're BFi. I was trying to say behind, but I couldn't find a way to make DeFi rhyme with behind. Smart contracts. You don't got smart contracts, well, then you can't really do anything. You don't got NFTs? Well, buddy boy, you go to another blockchain that has NFTs. And now I guess because Ethereum, it is abundantly clear that Ethereum is here to stay for a very long time. They're now working on interoperability with Ethereum smart contracts on the XRP ledger and the Ethereum virtual machine side. Why is it so difficult to say? Ethereum's virtual machine. There we go. Sidechain as well. So cool. Just do it. Please stop talking about it. This is becoming another Tron situation where there's like discussions about discussions and people talk about it on Twitter. That's great. I'm super happy that you guys are finally doing the same exact thing that every other chain has been doing for the last 2 or 3 years. But just do it. Stop talking about it, because the hype eventually fades. And then what happens is when this upgrade happens, no one really cares. Like people think about building stuff on this months before. But then what ends up happening is they go, well, you know what? We already have the entire package. Let's just put it on top of Solana or on top of Cardano or on top of Ethereum. So I feel like Ripple has really weird growing pains, even though it's like one of the oldest projects out there. So yeah, and there's also no date for this either. Like there's no actual date as to when this is going to happen. It's more of we're working on this, we're thinking about doing that, and we're thinking, just do it. I said the same exact thing for Cardano. I got tired of the updates, about the announcements, about the Twitter posting, about the ask me anything about the updates. Just do it. You don't need to constantly tell us that you're going to do something. So eventually XRP will have all these things. And I think my biggest fear, and I mean my real biggest fear for this thing, is that they're going to have all these upgrades, have all these projects. But every single year, there's a brand new 3-letter word that ends up getting into the cryptocurrency space that everyone ends up using. So when they finally have all these upgrades, the new update is going to be probably established on Cardano and Ethereum, whatever those new letters will be. It was ICO, then STO, then sidechains, yada, DeFi, yada, yada. They'll get something else, and then eventually by the end of next year, XRP will go, hey, guess what we're going to have? And then it takes another year for them to actually get it. Anyway, I'm done ranting. That's the XRP Ledger news. That's a pretty picture, though. Anyway, just do it. And let's move on. And I guess to finish the video off, and this was also really big news and is like, don't really care. An anonymous buyer at an Australian auction paid $361,000 in Bitcoin to acquire a classic Subaru WRX driven by the rally champion Colin McRae. For some reason, this was also very popular. I'm not sure if it's the fact that it was a Subaru. I'm not sure if it was the fact that it's Colin McRae's. I don't know who Colin McRae is, and I'm pretty sure there's one person who's like, how do you not know who Colin McRae is? Also, I'm going to assume it's the fact that they paid for it in Bitcoin. You can pay for everything in Bitcoin. Everything. Every single, yes, even that. Whatever you're thinking about, there's a website for it. Somewhere out there. There's tons of ways for you to send your Bitcoin to these different things, and it converts into whatever, and you're able to buy that completely in Bitcoin. You can even buy apartments and luxury housing and hotel rooms and all this other stuff and castles and yada, 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 and Dogecoin and Bitcoin as well. It's all possible. So I assume the news is he paid for it in Bitcoin. This was also very popular news, and I decided to throw it in there. I like having at the end of the videos, I like having these like really weird stories just to let you know what's also out there. Because a lot of times I read some of the news and I'm like, who wrote this? Like, who cares? Do you care? Of course nobody cares. Who cares what this? Somebody wasted their money on this Subaru. Nobody cares about that. That person just lost 8.02 Bitcoin. Congratulations for them. And on top of that as well, to finish things off, for those of you not looking at the screen, it says Compound tanks 8% after facing a second exploit in less than a week. It is drained of $21 million. Also, nobody cares. And I'm gonna and it's not so much that the people holding Compound don't care. It's that people should care, but they actually don't. Many moons ago, the idea was if your chain had a 51% attack, buddy boy, you were done. There was no discussion anymore. Your chain was weak. You could fix it as much as you wanted. The exploit was completely there. We have so many chains who are getting attacked, protocols that are getting drained, DeFi things that, I mean, like, imagine walking down the street and like stumbling over a boulder, not even like a pebble, like an actual boulder falling on your face, and you can't really get back up, but everyone is still standing there rooting for you. So a lot of these projects are getting exploited. That's the word that they're using now, as opposed to hacked, all the time. And no one actually seems to care. I think it's mainly because this is my opinion, I think we are either at the cusp of or actually in the euphoric phase right now. That is the cryptocurrency time frame where we are in a bull market, but no one really is a disbeliever of anything. Anything you put your money into ends up making money within the space, and this is the euphoric phase. So this is why I think we saw Bitcoin, the other coins, slam down by $2,000, and no one was worried. I think it's because this idea that the market will kind of keep going up. This is the idea. I'm just telling you how history has been within the cryptocurrency space. And it's the same exact thing for these protocols. There have been multiple, at least 15 to 20 different coins this year that have been exploited or had a 51% attack. And the people holding these coins seem not to care because they really don't understand the technology behind these things. You can have patches, you can have all these other things, but the actual integrity of these coins, of these chains, is completely wiped out, except for the people who are holding them, who told themselves a year ago that these were the coins to actually hold. So this was also quite unpopular news, if you will. For some reason, a lot of people get annoyed when people write articles or talk about these things actually happening. I told you all before, these chains are garbage, and I don't know how to explain that any further than I just won't talk about it anymore. You realize, like, a lot of times when there is news like this, I tend not to bring it up. I'm pretty sure you see it yourself, but just kind of don't pay attention to it. These coins aren't going to last for a very long time. These chains are just mimics of other chains, and this is why the really big news that we keep getting and all the excitement within the space is when people kind of just... Anyway, So that's the compound news. Once again, no one's going to actually care, because if Bitcoin and Ethereum actually end up going back up, really heavily in price, this coin will as well. How many other coins do we have this year that had actual 51% attacks? There were even some blockchains that stopped working for 2 or 3 days. Can you guess what happened to the price? Still went right back up because people, aren't really paying attention. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters, Professor Wally from Gunbite University. And let's move on. Chris, Hakeem Williams, Empire Queen, Stake It With Valor, Fudd, Wiser, Mortified, Roman Gaba, Bitcoin, Ben Arachno, Dave, Tony Ambroski, The Dealer's Den, Red Plump, Tomato, Umnu, Wishniki, The Letter M, Stefan Dirk, Not Brain, Captain Something in the Z-Way Lay, Crypto Black Sheep, AJ Cut 5, Speedy655, and Carlos Was Like, Mobarazi, Jojo Shaw Show, VB Nerd 21, Miguel Grolay, Lauren De Silva, Quarter Biddy, Bare Bones Mining, Troy Allgood, why'd I stream like that? Troy Allgood, Space Case, Need a Miracle, Pat Ternoster, Conan Don't Skip Leg Day, Snacky Chan, Tolek Banan, Auspicious Agile and Blockchain, Navarro Williams, David James, Attila Dahan, Yasha Harari, Utopia 569, Moonman High, XRP, Martin Stoyo, Nostromo, John Sarson, The Animal Reader, Abibliophobia, Todd Mullis, Adam Graysick, Mohamaroni, Massive Ventures in Thailand, Jared Schneider, Wise Night Owl, 242 to the World, Bankroll Network, Crypto Artist, Cold E3D, Damien, Set Sooner, Rich Richard III, Vlad the Impaler, Paxis, Nick Mangiela, Vody, Jim Gardner, Jemmy Fox, Minting Coins, Miller, His Chest, Everyday, and Cosclips Leg Day. Yes to crypto. Bodie McBoatface. Bodie McBoatface. Anytime Fitness, Monk's Corner Staff, Bake Me a Cake, Tigger, Macho Nisa, All Crypto with Lionel, Crayola Michelle, URL, or something in my eye. Please just go away. Crayola Michelle, URL, and Bolero Bastos. Thank you all very, very much for your support. I don't know if you saw me during the video. I was constantly one eye blinking. It's so annoying when there's one thing in your eye, you just really can't get it out. Thank you all very, very much for your support. Thank you to all the new Patreon members. Thank you to everyone who is a member of the channel. Thank you to everyone who left a like, a comment, a subscribe. Thank you to all the people out there in general. I can't think of other words to say, but alas, here we are. At the moment, Bitcoin is at 47,730. Okay, 749. Here's the slam down. We straight up hit 49,000, tumbled. Heavy tumble. And this is where we currently are. Every other blockchain basically kind of ish followed suit with this shark fin kind of thing. Luna is up by 3%. Algorand is up by 12. Axie Infinity is up by 30. That's a big percentage. If only other coins also did the exact same thing, because, logic. When you talk about actual adoption around the world, Bitcoin's being hyper adopted. So eventually we will have 33% up days, but, would be nice. Tezos is up by 4%. EOS is up by 3%. Still no real EOS news. EOS has been ticking up every single day. I think it was at $2 before. It's been moving up steadily every single day. I'm going to assume this has to do with something behind the scenes. Someone knows of some update or some type of thing that's coming for EOS. We still don't have their voice NFT platform. We still don't have, they were making their own cryptocurrency exchange, I think it was, called Bullish. Still don't have that either. And I am just going to assume that someone, $1.6 billion in 24-hour volume for a coin that no one is talking about, that there's no news about. Okay, sure. Why not? Shiba Inu is up by 4% as well. And yeah. We'll see what happens. It's only the beginning of the week. I have a very weird feeling it's going to be a very intense week. I don't know why. I feel it in the air. I feel like some kind of news is going to come out and it's going to rock the crypto world, if you will. I do hope you all enjoyed. I do hope that you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope that it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.